so much of your time. But as you can see, we're talking about effective goal setting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for the ads. So we're talking about thank you, Zainab. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to be talking about something interesting. So what I want you to do for me, if you can hear me, if you set goals, so let me give an example before we get started today. So what I found out is that, many of us, we do set goals, career goals that, this year, I must get this promotion. This year, I must achieve this milestone at work. In your business, you're setting goals. This year, we must make the millions, the trillions, whatever that looks like. Or this year, we are not green, right? We're not green, right? So the thing is that I want to ask you, if you set goals for your children that at this end of this year, this is what I want to achieve as a parent for my children's growth. Leave it in the comments as well. Tell me, I set goals. I don't set goals, but I know green this year. Put it in the comments as well. Let me know if we need this. If we need this. So if you set goals as a parent, saying this year, this is what I want to achieve as a parent for my children, put it in the comments. Because you know what, and if you don't do that, just say, you know what, tell me, I don't do it, but we are here for it this year. Put it in the comments as well. So I found out that, as parents or as people, we set goals for so many things, for our marriages, for our relationships, for our friends, but we forget the most important goals to set, our parenting goals for our children. And many of us, good job, Zainab, good job, Zainab. So many of us, would always say, when you are setting this goal, but we forget the children. And we have so many aspirations. You want your children to learn something, but you are not setting it as a goal. You just have it in your head that, I want this child to do this. These children, you are stressing me out. I don't want to be shouting, but you've not set goals for yourself. Because if you don't set goals for yourself, and I'm going to get to it soon, if you don't set actionable goals for yourself, you're just going to have it in your head to say, oh, this is what I want to achieve. I want to stop doing this to my children. I want my children to be this. But at the end of the day, you don't achieve it because you don't take actions towards it. And that's what we'll be talking about briefly today as to why. Why do we even need to set goals as parents? Then, how do we go about setting those goals? That's what we'll be talking about today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So if this is your first time of seeing my pretty face, yes, we have to be gassing ourselves up like this. So we are not agreeing. We are not going to agree as a parent. This year we are raising the best version of our children. I want you to type it in the comments and say, I'm going to raise the best version of my children. Yes, it's long, but if you type it down, we hold each other accountable and we are going to achieve it. Type it, I'm going to raise the best version of my children this year. Type it in the comments. It's long, but when you put it out there, the universe, God sees it, and you're going to truly achieve it. We're not winging our parenting this year, because many people would say, oh, parenting does not come with a manual. We know. But your career, does it come with a manual? Your marriage, does it come with a manual? Your business, does it come with a manual? But we set. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Yomi. Thank you, Miss Milk. Thank you, everyone, for putting that out there that I'm going to raise. Kamara, thank you, everyone. We're going to raise the best version of our children. And no, it does not come easy. We're going to do the work, and we're ready. And that's why you're on this call this night, or wherever you are, afternoon, evening, everything. We're going to raise the best version of our children. And one more thing, type it there. Where are you joining from as well? Let me also know. Yes, keep going. We're going to raise the best version of our children this year. But it would require you to be intentional. Just as your business, just as your career, just as your marriage, you put in the work. It does not happen like, it's not magic. That's why with your children, you have to put in work. It's not by just saying by mouth that, God, please, answer my prayers. Like God even says, He will bless the works of your hands. Did you hear that? He will bless the works. So if you do not do the work, you have not given God anything to bless, right? And I'll be going live every week so that we understand the basics as to why we even need to put in the work. The days that we were raised, that our parents raised us, is totally different. This is what we call the digital age. Very fast paced. Please share this live with your community as well, your friends, your followers. You know, anybody you love should be, any mom or parents you love should be on this IG live right now. So why do we even need to be intentional is a story, you know, for another day, which we would get to, right? Just join me every Sunday. I should be here by God's grace. So why? So in case anyway, let me quickly introduce myself. In case this is your first time of seeing me, I've not been live in a while. But yeah, I've got you. I'm your friend. I'm your bestie. Anything you want to call me, I'm here for you, because you'll be seeing more of me now, because I want to get to know you and you get to know me, and for us to impact each other as well, right? So I'm Tim Olajide. I'm a strategy consultant. The Courage Williams, thank you. I'm a strategy consultant with a tech company. By the day, I would say by the day. Yes, that's our 9 to 5. So, and by the night, which I always say, I'm the founder of Mummyclinicc, you know, where we give moms the psychological permission that you can be a hands-on mom. Yes, we're going to raise the best version of our children and be a superstar professional. Whatever your career, your business, whatever you're doing, we're killing it. We're going to kill it in both, you know, amazing professional and amazing mom. We're not leaving any stone untouched, right? That's what we do on Mummyclinicc. Motso, I miss you so much. Don't worry, I'm back. I'm back. So those are, you know, few of the moms that, you know, we've been there all, you know, years back. So I've got you, and that's what we're here. Like Mummyclinicc, we say we can enjoy being a mom. Mommy life can be stressful. We know that, but we will enjoy it because we don't have a choice. Are you ready to give up your role as a mom? No. So we're going to enjoy raising our children despite the challenges that comes with parenting. We are ready for it. They should bring it on. The children, everybody, they should bring it on. So anyway, let's get to the topic of today. So that's what I do. I'm a strategy consultant, and I'm also the founder of Mummyclinicc. I'm a certified child, you know, psychologist, a certified child sleep consultant. If your children are not sleeping well, come to me, DM. A certified potty training consultant as well. If you're having challenges with potty training, we got you. And a child psychologist if you want to understand your children. So we come from the place of understanding the children to raising the best of them and becoming the best of you as a mom as well. So that's a, you know, a brief introduction about me, right? So today, effective goal setting. So why do we need to set goals? So we're not living, like I say, our parenting to chance. We're not winging it. No, we're not the winging people. We want to raise successful children. And to raise successful children, you have to be intentional in this digital age. You know how we're all struggling. The way you are struggling with your phone and all that, your children are struggling, and the younger ones, they will grow and struggle the more. So you have to be very deliberate to raise phenomenal children in the world that we're in right now. And that world does not leave us to chance to wing parenting, right? So why do we need to set goals? We need to set goals because we are able to track our progress. So let me come a step back to, you know, what is goal setting? So some people, I've seen few people, they set goals. For some of us that do not set goals or have not set goals before, for our, you know, and when we're saying setting goals, you have written it down. It's not in your brain. No, we're not working like that. It's not something you are setting in your head. Is what have you written down, penned down that this is what I want to do for my to achieve, you know, for my children to achieve in the course of this year, or what I want to achieve for my children towards the, you know, the growth and the development of my children this year as well, or for the success of my children. So please, if you don't have a pen or paper, even if it's your phone, be typing it down, right? You'll be thinking, you'll be having ideas as I'm talking as to your goal, and I will redirect you to how you should, what we mean by goals. So goals is not anything out of this world, to be honest. Your goal can just be, I want my child's handwriting to improve this year. Yes, we've been saying it for years. Oh, this child handwriting is not good. It's not good, but you've not done anything about it. It just stays in your head and in your with your mouth. But this year, you're going to write it down and you're going to take action so that your child can, you can achieve that towards, for your child. Your child can achieve that, that success with their handwriting. Your goal can be, I want my child to learn how to swim. Some of us, we've been saying, I want my child to learn how to swim for years, but you've not taken action towards that goal because you've not penned it down. So be thinking about it. What are the goals? And please don't make it so many, because we are busy. Mommy life is not easy. Oh, it's not easy. So don't put 10, 15 goals there. I want you to think of at maximum 3 goals. 3 goals for each of your children. If you have more than 1 children, to say, these are the goals I would want to achieve this year. It can be, I want my children to listen more. Some of us, it can be, I do not want to yell. Some of us, we can shout. We can shout for Africa. Because you want your children to listen, you'll be yelling. And I understand, they are stressing you. Don't worry. Many lives are coming that we would use to address this. But if you're struggling with that, we even have a class, for that as well. How to get your children to listen without you yelling or nagging or spanking them. If you are interested, you can DM us. But that's not the conversation. So for some of us, it can be that is your goal, to stop yelling. And to take a step to stop yelling, it might be, how do I learn and unlearn, how do I learn to be better? How do I unlearn this habit that we think it is normal for moms to shout? No, it is not normal. It is not normal. Yes, we should, we might want to shout, but people, you can communicate without shouting. So if you have that goal, what you might need to do is, to purchase a class or a course, or get a coach or someone that can help you to stop that. Because many of us wants to stop it, but we don't know how to. Whereas there is help. So we'll get into it. So your goal can be, how to teach your young children how to read better, how to write better, how to speak better. It can be your goal. So goal is not that your child should build a house now. Maybe that goal can be when your child has started to work. But for now, we're setting realistic, goals. So I'm just telling you now so that you can start to think and start to write it down. That's why I said we have to pen it down. Before the end of this life, you must be able to say, okay, these are my goals and this is what I need to do to to achieve this goal. And another reason of why should you set goals, to help you prioritize and focus on what actually is important. Many of us, we compare our journey to our friends, our families, and say, oh, my child is not like that, my child is this, my child is not this. What is important to you? So that's what your goal, does for you. If you have a goal, that this year, what I want to focus on, and so I'm not even bothering, I'm not nagging my child, because I've set it to say, oh, this year for older children, I want them to be more organized. Teenagers, how their room can be upside down or everything, they're not getting themselves. So your goal can be, okay, rather than just complaining, oh, your room is like this, you have not done this, you have not done your homework. What do you want to focus on? Is it organization? So that is what having goals does for you. It blurs the distraction. So you are not feeling like a failure that, I've not achieved this. My daughter is not like this. My son is not like this. No. When you have a goal, you are more focused to say, this is what I've set and this is what I would achieve. And I do not care what I see others. You can learn from whatever other people are doing. Good job. Good job, Alukba. So you are able to focus to say, this is it. So that's what setting goals does for you. And when you are setting goals, as I've said, you will write it down. Be writing them down. Write it down here. Write it down on your own phone. So that after the call, you would go to it and you start to write how you're going to achieve those goals. Because we will not agree this year. So why do we set goals as well, right? So that you can also achieve a sense of accomplishment. Because many times as moms, we we're not grateful, not because we don't want to be grateful, but because a lot of things are going on in our lives, even the things we should celebrate. Like you are complaining, some of you, you'll be complaining, oh, this child, cannot write, but this child can read. So when you're able to set goal, you can celebrate that at least this year, my child improved in reading. So the writing, okay, maybe later. Some of us were not even grateful that our children, they can listen. Some children, they don't listen. No matter what you say, they would not listen to you. So when you set goal, it gives you a sense of accomplishment that I achieved this, because at the end of the year or at the end of the time that you've set it for, you can tell yourself, well done, we achieved this. You tell your children, well done, high five, that. You can give rewards for children that are, age 5+, which I will get to very soon, as well as to, how do you go about setting these goals. Please invite your friends to this live as well to join. So why? It gives you the sense of accomplishment, and that there's a win, and you are able to tell yourself, I did this, rather than saying, oh, I'm a bad mother, I've not achieved this, my child has not achieved this. When you see that you've written something down and you're able to achieve it, you are happy and you celebrate that win, that at least you did something great, for your children and for yourself in the course of the year as well. And you know what? Something which you know is that success does not come like that. You have to take actions to achieve success in life. So with your parenting as well, to be a successful parent, which, to be honest, I always tell people success is long term. It's not now, but you are successful at every milestone. Like, I've taken this milestone, I've taken the steps, I've achieved success with my child at this stage. The next milestone as well, and that's how you're able to continue to celebrate and move on and be encouraged in this parenting journey. Because many times, being a mom is tough. It's tough, to be honest. But when you're able to pin it down, you're able to write it down, pen it down, you know that you are doing an absolutely fantastic job. So how do you go about, setting goals? So I always say, before you want to set goals, you want to ensure that they are realistic. Some of you don't come and set goals that your 1-year-old should start to be reading or writing. Hey, those are unrealistic goals. Maybe it should just remain in your head. So when you are trying to set goals, ensure that they are realistic and they can be achievable. Not that you would say your 5-year-old should know how to maybe, let's say, recite maybe a whole page of passage, very unrealistic something. Or I want my 5-year-old, to be able to tidy his or her room from head to toe, when, should be able to take initiative and all that. Those are unrealistic. So age appropriate, achievable goals. That's what you need to set for your children, right? And when we're saying, goals as well, your goals must be smart. So what do I mean by smart? It must be specific, it must be measurable, it must be achievable, and I will give you examples so that you understand how you're going to set this thing. It must be relevant and it must be time bound. So what do I mean? I will break it down for you. Specific in the sense that when you say they must be specific, right? That is, what do you want? So it is not, I want my child to be a good child. That is not a goal. I want my child to listen and be cooperative. I want my child to learn how to read. I want my, very specific, nothing, not something that is unclear, even to you, right? There's nothing like, I want my child to be a good child. What do you mean? If you want the child, okay, to be a kind child, to be listening, to be able to take initiative. So you will now say, okay, what do I need to do, right? So we now move to measurable. So how do you track the progress, right? So for many of the moms in my, coaching program, for example, what we do is measurable in the sense that, do I want to achieve this goal when, measurable in the sense that, okay, if I would want to achieve this goal, if I want my child to learn, let's give an example. If I want my child to learn how to read, for example, okay, how do I measure that success? How do you know that this child can read? That is very, very good, very clear, because by the end of your, the time you've set, my child can read, let's say, maybe a part of storybook, or my child can read, maybe for the young children, my child can read A to Z, or maybe my child can read, alphabet, or my child can read a one full page, passage or something. It must be measurable. It must be something that you can say, you can track that we have achieved this. I want to, let my child know how to, let's say, swim. So how can you track progress? Oh, by the time my child has learned this, my child can at least get into the pool and, do their hand like this and go underwater. That is what we say measurable. You must be able to track. If you say, I want my child to be good, how do you track the good? How do you track being good? Good is relative, If your child now comes today and your child did not do something that they're not meant to do, you will say, my child is not good today. So that's why it must be quite specific as to what you would want to, achieve with your children. So it can be, if you say, I want my older children, if you have teen children, that they must be organized. Maybe how do you measure this progress? Okay, maybe by the end of the year or in the next 6 months, at least when I get into their room, everything must be, in the right place. Maybe their clothes must be in the right place. They wouldn't be putting their shoes here anymore. That is what you would want to achieve. So that is measurable. So when you see that, you say, I've done a good job. This child too has done a good job. We've held each other accountable. And this is, my child is now more organized, right? So that is how you make it measurable. So achievable in the sense that, is this a doable thing? So like I said, it's not like you will say, my baby should know how to walk. Maybe you have 6-month-old baby and your goal is for the 6-month-old baby to be walking by 7 months. That one, it is not achievable. So it is something that is achievable that you would put there, right? That is how you're able to know that, okay, this thing, we can achieve it if we put in the work, right? So ensure that your goals are achievable. Then the next one is relevant, the R. So I'm doing SMART. So someone can type it there to help others. So I said SMART. We talked about being specific. Your goal be specific. They must be measurable. They must be achievable. And we're now in relevant. So what is the benefits to you? Are you setting these goals because your friend or your brother's daughter, son, something can do this? What is relevant to you? For some of my own goals, I set some goals, when my children were younger, so that maybe they could help me, they could support my business with Mummyclinicc. So when I'm saying, my goal is that this year my child should learn video editing, it's because it's relevant to our journey, to my journey, so that they can learn, integrate them into my business, right? So some of you, it can be, okay, how is it relevant? Because my child needs to read, maybe my child is struggling to read, so I have to be deliberate so that my child can be able to, engage in class, be able to improve in his or her academics. So how is it relevant to you or your child? You must think about that, not because somebody's child is doing that, or because somebody told you that your child should be this or something like that. You have to think about how that goal is relevant to you and your child, or your child. And it must be time bound. This is not goals that you set that it is, you now tell me, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Barry. So it's not the goal that you set that you will say in the next, when your child is an adult. Those are not the goals we are setting. These are time-bound goals. You can set those long-term goals, but trust me, you take steps from your short-term goals to your long-term goals, right? So when we say time-bound, I want my child to be able to read by June this year. There must be a time to it, so that you can set actionable goals. So if I say, I want my child to be able to read, okay, maybe your first steps, obviously, is the actions you need to take. Thank you so much, Radiant. So maybe the first action you need to take is, maybe you have to get a teacher for the child, or maybe you have to buy books, maybe you have to buy audiobooks that, your child can listen and, repeat after that. Or maybe you have to set a time, maybe 30 minutes every day to spend with the child. That's what we call actionable. You have to take action. It's not by mouth. It's not by writing it down. You have to take actions. And this is what we do in our strategy sessions as well, because some moms, you need accountability as to, identifying your children's strength, their interests, weakness, how they learn best and everything. Those are all the things we put into consideration in our strategy session. So we have goal setting strategy sessions that you can, book a session. You can send me a DM if you want us to sit and talk together, and we set it. We have a workbook that we can set together and sit down and map the strategies for you to achieve it. So you might be, oh, this is what you need to do. This is the website you need to go. This is the person you need to talk to, because if you do not take action, thank you so much for the ads, for tapping the ads. If you do not set action, trust me, you will not achieve nada. That goal, maybe you add it to another year again, and at the end of the day, you're not achieving anything. It's just all in your head, and you keep complaining, my child is not this, oh, I'm a bad mother, I'm not putting in effort. You are feeling guilty, whereas you are in control of it. You need to take actions, right? So that is how you ensure that, your goals are smart. You have to have smart goals. So time bound. And, in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, you have to put it there that this is when you want these goals achieved, right? So how do you go about it? So if you have children, older than 5 years old, you can set it, involve them. So you can set it and say, you know what, this year, this is what I'm thinking, I want you to improve, on, or this is what I'm thinking you should learn. Or even if your child has even told you before, Mom, I would want to know how to do this. Put it in the goal. Okay, this child has been saying, I want to learn this instrument. Mom, I want to learn this thing. Or the school has identified that maybe if your child can improve in this, it would be better for the child. But you are just like, okay, we'll do it, but you've not taken action. Thank you so much, Barry, for putting out that there. Action. Act on your SMART goals. Yes, thank you so much for that. So involve children. So because obviously you're not the one that will read for the child, except for the younger children that you have to read to. Maybe you have toddlers that you want them to start to read or learn how to speak. Because if you have a child that is not also cannot speak, at times it's because you are not speaking to these children. You are not taking actions, and the child, you are wondering, my child is 2, my child cannot say anything. Yes, there are some challenges here and there, but it's your responsibility. Many times we're just babysitting the children with TV. Can the TV talk back to them? So there are actions that you need to take. So what I'm saying is that for your children 5+, you have to involve them, because they have to do the thing. They have to take actions with you. So it's not you that you're going to take the actions with them, right? So you have to involve them to say, okay, these are the goals we've set. This is what I need you to do, and you engage them. So, and be encouraging and supportive. You know that it is not you alone that will achieve this goal. And please, don't forget as well that it's not only your children that you should set goals for. We mamas, we need to set goals. Self-care. You need to take care of yourself. Many of us, we're just taking care of the family, the children, the husband. You are leaving yourself behind. This is another conversation for another day. Trust me, if anything happens to you, life will go on, but your children would suffer for it. So you need to take care. So for some of you, it might even be you that you need to set a goal for yourself as a parent, that this year I'm going to take care of myself. This year I'm going to love myself. This year I'm going to improve. I'm going to go for self-development, classes and courses, so that I can learn more. Because some of us, we're already dead. Like, we have not done, some of you, you've not done any course, no training, nothing since you left school. Like, seriously, you can't give what you do not have, because how do you impact your children when you're not growing? So your children will think mommy does not know anything, rather than maybe making money or just talking and just disturbing us, right? So some of you, you need to even learn. You need to develop, self-development. Some of you, you need to start to learn to read, right? To expand your, your vocabularies, your learning, oblongata. So this is not funny, but trust me, you cannot give what you do not have. If you do not take care of yourself, you're going to break down. Some of you, what you need to do is, even give yourself, maybe your goal is this year, every weekend, maybe 30 minutes, nobody disturbing you. You put your feet down, you will relax, and nobody will be. If you want to learn that as well, you can book a strategy session. We can look into that for you, to look at, what your stressors are, what your challenges are, and we set a goal together, and I hold you accountable to achieving those goals as well. That's what we also do. Exactly. I just remember that word. So that can be your goal. So some of you, it might not even only be as a parent. That's what you need to set. So it's not even only your children you should set goals for. You should set for yourself as well. And pen it down and take actions. Some of you, you are supposed to have done some exams. You have been procrastinating. I will do it at this, I will do it. You need to do it this year. Set it as a goal and actionable steps. If you need accountability, we have paid accountability, community. Send a chat to me in the DM and we'll be able to support you. This year, we no agree. Say, we no agree. Put it. How about kids nutrition? So if you want to elaborate in the sense that, is it that, maybe for your children to improve in maybe eating better, right? So I don't know if it's that. Let me know if that's what you're saying so that I can be clear as to give you exact procrastination. Please, that procrastination, we have to throw it out of the window, Barry. No, we're not procrastinating this year. You can see a lot is happening in the world, and today you just say, oh my God, I wish I had taken that action, let's say a year ago, few months ago. This year, you have to stop procrastinating. And if you need accountability, you can also reach out. We have paid accountability sessions as well. So anyway, we move. So you have to encourage, be encouraging and supportive to your children if you're setting goals for your children as well. Then be consistent, because you cannot achieve anything if you're not consistent. And we are busy. I know, mommy life is not easy, right? I have 2 children. I have 2 teenage children, 16 and 14. So I know that mommy life can be busy, right? So some of you, to achieve those goals, to take actions, you have to set reminders. Put everything in your calendar. This is the time I need to take the child for rehearsal. This is the time I need to, for our reading session. This is time I need to do this. This is time I need to rest. This is time I need to, go for my manicure or whatever self-care looks like to you. Like for me, self-care is just, I don't need all these paparazzi, whatever drama. In my room, I just alone like that. I'll just put on music. My head is, is calming now. Okay, does your firm consult with moms having trouble with balancing children? Yes, you can reach out. You can reach out to me as well. You can reach out to me. So, yes, we can work on that, right? So anyway, so you have to set reminders, right? And follow up, that this, let me tell you, like now, for my goals, like I have, and it can be any book. Like I have books. Oh my gosh. I have books. I write everything that I'm going to do. Like my goals. So I now put, what I need to do each day. Right? What I need to do each day. I write it down. Those are actionable steps. So I'm not preaching what I'm not what is it? I practice what I preach. So it can be any book. It can even be something, like this. It doesn't have, it can be any book, to be honest, but you've dedicated it to taking actions on your goals, and you put the steps there that this is what you need to do to be able to achieve it, right? Then celebrate your efforts, the progress. Celebrate with your children. Wow, you can now read A to Z. Oh, you can now read this maybe something sentences at a go. Oh, you can now read this book. Oh, you can now swim, do, I don't know the terms that they use in swimming, but obviously that was one of our goals some years ago, and my children can swim now. So you take it, okay, at least they can even enter water. Like when I was learning how to swim, my win was at least I could enter water and I was not afraid. So those are the steps. Okay, now I can enter water, right? Now I can now do backstroke, or I can now do whatever they call it. I just know that you do your hand like this. So celebrate your efforts and celebrate it with the children, because they are also contributing to it. Those are at least the goals that involves the children, right? Thank you everyone for joining. So then for areas that you need to provide feedback, don't say, we've been on this thing that you are learning how to write and you're still writing anyhow. Some of you, maybe you have to get 2B for the child to learn how to be writing, and you are taking, tracking the progress. And rather than say, You've been learning this thing for the last 2 weeks. Your writing has not improved. No, provide constructive feedback. Well done. I see you are making efforts, but you can improve by this. Not that you will now be saying nonsense to your children. No, because they're children does not mean you talk unkindly to them. You have to be kind with your feedback, constructive feedback, that this is how you should improve. Well done. You are making efforts, but you can improve this way. Not that, what is all this? We are just go, you just put your goal inside dustbin. No goal again. We're not doing goal again this year. No, we're not doing that. We're not green. Even despite the challenges, we push and continue to encourage, our children. And, identifying and addressing any obstacles that might want to prevent you. So sometimes, I've seen it in the past for a few months that I've supported as well, that, when we've set the goals, maybe something happened, something, maybe somebody might lose some type of finances, and maybe they've planned that, I'm going to register my child, let's say in a swimming school, for example, but something happened and they could not afford it, for example, to register that child. Maybe there was just a setback. So you have to identify, okay, this setback has happened. What do I need to do? Okay, maybe prior to registering in, my child in the, let's say, in the swimming class, maybe let's even watch some YouTube videos to encourage my child to see, okay, this is how to swim, this is how to get comfortable in water, something like that. Or how do we use that setback? How do we just, navigate it and say, okay, what else can we, identify as a place of weakness that we can improve on? That's how you identify, because it's not every time that everything works well. We all set goals at the beginning of the year. Sometimes you are taking actions, but something happens along the way. But how can you be able to identify and address those challenges so that at least you still stay on track, or, you see how can you go about it and still achieve it at the end of the day? Or how do you prevent it? Because sometimes you might even, what we do at times in our strategy sessions is, okay, what can be the problems? We are setting these goals. You can also pen it down now, that what can make me not want to achieve this goal? What can stand in my way? Some people, it might be, okay, maybe it might be your partner that might stand in your way. It might be your parents. It might be your family. It can be anybody. You have to pen that down. Some of us, it might be, maybe if we're single parents, maybe because we don't have enough support system, in as much as I want to achieve this goal. But these are the things that might not make me want to achieve it. We pen it down and we see, okay, how do we prevent this from happening? Or what do we do? Where do we get support from? Where do we get help from, so that we can be able to achieve these goals as well? So that is how you go about it. So I hope, obviously, you've gained one thing or the other. Let me know in the comments, what, if you've gotten value. Just put value there if you've gotten value. And if you're interested in booking, a strategy session, a goal setting strategy session with me, you can just send me a DM. Just put strategy there, and I tell you more details as to how we can go about it. But please do not wing your parenting. This year, you are going to set actionable, realistic, and smart goals this year. We are not leaving our parenting goals to chance again. You must take steps to raise phenomenal children in the world that we're in now. You have to be very deliberate and intentional.